Hello and welcome back to part 4 of the Sima Extreme Difficulty campaign. In the last episode we finished our conquest of the southern Jing region, which is these 4 cities here. Nanhai's last city was conquered. We were hoping to take Nanhai's officers entirely, however a few of them escaped, including Nanhai himself, who has relocated to Wucheng's force in Nanhai here. We did try to launch an offensive campaign against Nanhai using these mountain terrain tiles as a defensive choke point, and it was going reasonably well up until we got hit by the fire attacks, which, even though we were winning battles at very favourable ratios, the fire damage took too much of a toll on our forces and we were forced to retreat. However, I think this has opened up an opportunity of sorts. Wucheng's forces are quite weakened, and subsequently Cao Pi has decided to launch an attack on Nanhai. This being extreme difficulty, I don't think Cao Pi is going to be able to take Nanhai, even though he does have a 3-to-1 advantage? A 2.5-to-1 advantage against Nanhai, especially as Nanhai is in that city. He will deploy out and likely defeat Cao Che, Cao Chen and Cao Pi, which are the sort of second tier of Cao Cao's family officers. So the plan is, we failed attacking through this mountain pass to Wucheng directly, but perhaps we got a little greedy. What if we go for Cao Pi? This is a slightly longer mountain pass, but Cao Pi will have significantly less forces. That will be the plan. If we can get out of the choke point and over to, say, Wuling, we won't be as vulnerable to fire attacks, as we'll be able to spread out. And even though it'll take us about half a year to launch an attack on Jiaozhi, especially getting supplies and troops in position ready for the attack, by the time we get there, Cao Pi will be up to maybe 18,000 troops. I think we'll be able to win a battle, as it's not a particularly defensive city. So the plan is, move supplies to Ling. We've got quite a stockpile still in Guiyang. We will deploy with maybe 26 to 28,000 troops from Ling, and hopefully Cao Pi will take heavy losses in this battle, if not a complete annexation. So I am going to move some troops around. Oh no, very important to point out, Yuan Shao and his officers Yan Liang and Wen Chao are defending our northern border against Ganning, and occasionally Zhang Ren, who are attacking us with what I would consider to be increasing frequency. I am going to move, let's be somewhat greedy and say 6,000 troops. Have I got a mountain warlord here? Do I have a mountain warlord? Yes, there we are. So I'm going to send 6,000 troops with Chen Tai from Guiyang over. I think I'll send a very generous 45,000 troops as well to go with supplies to go with it, and hopefully we'll be able to use these to launch the attack for Ling, maybe even deploying Chen Tai, as he has mountain warlord and he may be able to get there before the other officers do and set up initial perimeter with some fortifications. I'll give it some thought and cut back when we either face our next assault from Ganning, or we get to spectate Cao Pi's attack against Nanhai. As I am expecting more assaults to come from Changsha, what I am going to do is send out Yuan Shao with a fairly substantial army. Tell you what, maybe even Crane, so he can move quicker. And I am going to just build up some wire ropes. Can I build them? Yes, I can. Around the port, and then set up some catapults around that, so if the enemy does come for the ports, they'll get bombarded before they're able to make it in. As it's a shame I haven't got any naval officers really capable in the high seas, because this is a very, very well supplied and supported area, and if I had any particularly good naval officers, this would be the right place for them to fight. I think possibly Ganning has the max level of level 6, so I would go toe to toe with him in the water. something to consider. We might see a naval battle or an attempt at one or two. Very good exchange rate on food over in Wuling. So I am going to spend a lot of my money buying said food to help the campaign against Cao Pi, who has wandered into some traps and is already taking fire damage. I predict this isn't going to go too well for him. Well, my fiercest of rivals, my bitter enemies, Yang Hu and Cao Chong, have united against me up in the north. This will have dire consequences for the immediate short-term effects in that campaign, should they somehow acknowledge my existence. Not very good news for Dong Chua, and not very good news for Lu Xun, who has built far more arrow towers in this city than I like to see. But, you know, Jin supremacy continuing on. Sima Yan and Ma Teng are building up huge armies over in the southeast. But you know, I really couldn't care less about that. That's a problem for 6 episodes in the future. So this is the army I'm going to use to try and attack the south. We've seen it before. Sima Yi, Sima Shi, the supportive Sima family members, Zhang Chenhua, Sima Chou, Sima Yu as backliners. We've got the addition of Fan Shi, who is a supportive officer who will just enhance our abilities, make our army pound for pound stronger. And Deng Zhong, who is a supportive officer, not supportive, a ministrant, who will also support our army in a somewhat similar way. To save our food consumption, I might make him a little bit shorter in size. Yeah, he's not going to be a very powerful officer, but in fact, what I will do, I'll make him snake, so he can secure the areas before our army arrives. So he isn't going to be attacking the city necessarily, he's just going to be in the back line, acting as a ministrant to make Sima Yi stronger, so that, yeah, in fact, with Sima Yi stronger, we can give him some more troops. So that, effectively, Sima Yi can last longer against the city, hopefully carry out more tactics, and it'll be a more productive battle. So everyone is going to, well, I'm going to be somewhat careful with deploying my army here. So the plan is to get the frontliners here, Sima Yi, Sima Shi, Sima Chou, Sima Yu, Zhang Chuha, Fan Shi, and of course, did I not? Weird. Sima Yu. So hopefully they will put themselves in this formation. It will be in about half a year, so we'll probably see some action before then. Sima Yi may decide to turn around after he's taking a beating, but I still think we've got this. And it's also worth pointing out, Cao Pi's officers tend to use more vulnerable formations. Goose, crane, not the formations that will obliterate our armies at a moment's notice. And there's Yuan Shao building up our fortifications there. While I'm at it, when we're spending gold, good old Zhongli Mu, I think I might have him build some more wire ropes if I'm able to do so in that area too. Leaving only a small choke point for buildings or officers to be able to snake past the buildings, and then I can hopefully, you know, camp up around there the next time I get assaulted and fight a favourable 3 tiles against 1 battle. That is the plan. This is an example here, you can just about see it, or possibly just about saw it, as to why I am terribly biased towards fish formation. As you could see, the fish unit was taking 1 damage at a time. The arrow formation unit was taking 60 to 40, so that is of course 40 to 60 times more casualties, even if the fish unit has, well, in this case, slightly higher assault. That's just a discrepancy between the quality of the 2 officers. So, well, you can see here, Cao Pi is a better example. Higher assault, much lower defence. Subsequently, the ratio of casualties inflicted to casualties taken is much poorer. And Jiang Wei is coming from, well, I'm not going to fight him here. This is a awkward, an awkward place to fight. We don't get too many bonuses, and I think we could try and cut him off using a officer like Chen Tai, and I suppose he's not doing anything for us right now. We'll call him over. Okay, we can test out this plan in the theory as well as in practice. This plan we theoried, we can now try and practice, is what I tried to say. So that's all built up. Have I got time to build a catapult tower? Have I even got the... Well, first of all, can I build one? Yes, I can. So if I wait a turn, I won't have time to get the troops home, so I won't wait a turn. Okay. We need... Yuan Shao's over there. Yan Liang and Wen Chao are going to have to do without him for now. And we will we'll have to see how this goes. Okay, so here he comes. Yushu's taking the catapult assault approach. Ganing is here. Sorry, not Ganing, Lu Meng. He has no adjacency support whatsoever, so Yan Liang and Wen Chao are going to go out once again in arrow formation. Hopefully not taking too much damage this time. And they are going to engage Ganing in single combat. Oh, duo combat. Other than that, okay, that's an interesting place to attack from. We'll have Yuan Shao join them. And maybe Zhang Limu can try and cut off Lu Meng. And I think Cao Chen's forces, yep, there we are, getting destroyed by Deng Ai as predicted. That's not even close. And there he goes. So, we've seen what's going to happen now, what's happening up north. Yan Liang and Wen Chao, they're taking not inconsiderable damage, but they're doing a reasonable amount of damage back in return. And now Lu Meng, while not confused, because he has immunity to that thanks to his trait disciplined, he will be quite comfortably but reliably damaged by those two. And I think I'll get rid of the transport tech and get the facilities back up wherever you are. Does this give me... What does that give me? So I've got 3, 5, 8. So I would need something to give me 10. Supply lines it is. I will get rid of prepare register. Just for now. Oh, I haven't actually got any fish formation. So we got max strength arrows at the moment. I'll have to remember to change that for Sima Yi's army. There we are, Lu Meng didn't last very long against those two. And here's the duel. Not so close. Oh yeah, doing 1200 damage, receiving 40 and 50 back by return. Okay. These two might be a bit more threatening. Now, if they get too close to the water, they're going to chase on in, but I don't think there's too much I can do about that. So, I am going to... why not? I'll get Yuan Shao out to act as overseer. And I'll ask these two to retreat. And in the interim, I'll get good old Zhongli Mu to get ready to flank around should it be needed. Sima Yi's army is getting ready. Den Zhong's doing the reconnaissance we need. Will he be able to get to Wuling without being cut off? That I am not completely confident about, but we'll just have to see. Okay, they're retreating successfully. Here comes... he was in siege weapon formation. I would not have bothered. Lu Meng's not going to have his loyalty drop. He is friends of Ganning. Is Xu Xu going to move forward? Yes, but not in the right direction. And Yuan Shao's going to have another duel, which he lost. Ah, come on, at least I got the music tower. So that will reinforce, well, it lasts. So how are you doing? 400, 100. We can cut him off. And while we do so, send the arrow guys back out to quickly get into position to wipe these two units out. So Yuan Shao, he's taking not inconsiderable damage, but along come Jesus, this pathing. They basically missed the battle. Well, they're here now, that's all that matters. I'll have the three of you repair this music tower, and I'll have you... Yeah, that's a good place to build it, as they'll be bombarded as they come on in. I could even build walls there to further create a choke point. Do I like that? If I'm going to be using these officers, perhaps, and it'll prevent them from charging into the navy. I do not know what Wang Ping is doing. He just seems to be swimming around in the waters quite aimlessly. They're still coming for us. They still think they've got the advantage. They don't know how to get on land. Oh, he does. He's made it. Potentially going to get cut off, but he made it. So... Just need to make sure you aren't in range of the reckless pursuit. But these guys don't stand a chance fighting us. They have no supporting areas. The extreme difficulty buffs, as you can see here, 300 assault, 600 defense. I could send out anyone and he would be able to hold his own. Speaking of which, Chentai's... Shame he could have been in the main army building fortifications, but we'll leave that as an aside. It's all going quite well, and down south we're getting ready to build some music towers to recover our morale to fight Jiaozhi, which is going to be up to 18, maybe even 20,000 troops by the time we're ready. But they will have no surrounding areas if it all goes according to plan. Come on, move around, are you reckless? No. Good, good, good. Come on, you can get that up and running, you can do it. There we are, fully fledged catapult, and up come the reinforcements. He won't make it. Maybe he will. I don't think these type of boats have ranged attacks. Speaking of which, off you go. this is going to be a slaughter. Yuan Shao's holding his own. Wan Ping certainly is not. And there we are. This is why we use them. Okay, back-to-back duels. That is ever so unfortunate for Mr. Wang Ping. That's annoying. Okay, this is going to do a fair bit of damage. A casual 7,000. And then he's cut off. So that here is Ganning's Grand Offensive. Or what was his Grand Offensive. And we'll be able to retreat everyone back in time for the defense of... Oh, I wonder. Do I have... No. Okay. Get back inside. You three attack him, then retreat. You retreat back inside, and then we're going to redeploy for the defense of Changsha. And this is job done. Truly. Well... Ah, who died? Dongsha. Well, that goes without saying. Was it the Cao Chen alliance that knocked him out? Yes. No, it wasn't. It was... Was that Liu Chan? Liu Shan. And the 3 forest warlords. Why not? There's a few forests around here. Cutting 2, in which case... Running sort of low on supplies here, but we got another 40,000 on its way, 50,000 in the city, another 60,000 here. We are going to be spending all of our food and some. I mean, I think we've got some guy called Zhu Qi or Mountain, yeah. Just keeping the food in the city. Because our army is nearly there. We've got the music tower set up to keep the morale topped off. We'll be ready to fight soon. We just need to get everyone around the music tower to have them recover and fight what will probably be 20,000 troops in Jiaozhi, which is not surrounded yet, but not far off. The AI is telling me I might be able to hire Zhonghui. I will try, but I'm not optimistic. We can watch Jiang Wei get absolutely battered by a catapult. He'll take the area, but he won't really have anything left to do with it. He wants Lu Meng back. I would like that gold. That is the problem. Okay, you can have Ganning back. So you can have Lu Meng back, Mr. Ganning. Jiang Wei isn't even going to make it to the port. No, sorry Liu Bei. I do appreciate our alliance, but we're not going to have that. I had to try. Yes, I am remembering to change my doctrine. I know that is quite a surprise for everyone, including myself, but I will be doing it. I don't actually have any siege weapons in the city, and usually you rarely see this, but I actually have the means of having snake level 10. So in certain terrains I'm actually going to be using quite powerful snake officers, such as Zhongmi Lu, the guy I've been using a lot. He has snake, he has forest warlord. Zhongli Mu, he will be quite a force to contend with. Speaking of contending with, Chen Tai has Snake 2, and maybe I give him a title. Yeah, why not? Here you go, Chen Tai, here is your promotion. Out you go. No, it is. I'll just have him sit here, perhaps. Ganning's not terribly strong, and I will have the catapults reinforcing me. So Cao Pi has decided he'd rather wait for me to surround him, and my supplies are holding up. Just to show you, I had 78,000 there. Changhui's not going to have his relationship decreased, it seems. Oh well. 78,000, a single turn passes by, and I have 71,000, so I am using 9,000 troops a turn at this very moment, which is lethal. But it won't be too much longer now, I am sure, before Cao Pi decides, hold on, this force is quite threatening and on our doorstep, we better see to it. So Ganning decided to retreat, which is understandable after Jiang Weihao has evaporated. Ganning's forces are now substantially weakened compared to what they were. There's not a single city with 20,000 troops in it. The north is slowly consolidating. We've got a showdown between Yang Hu and Liu Shan forming. It will be interesting to see how this goes, and then there's Sun Ce in the corner as the underdog, and Yuan Shu just being Yuan Shu, who he's not going to accomplish anything. As I'm running short on gold constantly, I'm going to try adopting reform expenditures to see how much that will impact the gold I'm consuming in these cities. For example, gold expenditure and paper is 350 in the city, but I will see what will be reduced. Well, no, it's not 350, that's nonsense. Doesn't include the drafting. But we'll see what an impact this has in practical terms. So that sheet just completely lies. Okay, so Cao Pi just has refused to engage. Subsequently, his troop income is diminished to nearly nothing. We can now win this battle of attrition as long as my supplies hold out, which is somewhat of a big if. We've got enough supplies to conquer the city. I will take that gamble. Sorry, lost for words while trying to concentrate on not messing up my formations as I usually do. Pretty standard, 3 fish front line, 3 goose back line. Do I actually have any goose supporters? I'm using snake here. 1. Plenty of siege support, plenty of snake support, plenty of arrow support, but no goose. So I'll just use that to boost them a little bit. And 350 is now down to 315. So each turn I'm saving 40 gold, 35 gold. Not huge, might make a difference between the 4 cities, that is. So this could be the turn that Cao Pi chooses to come out and attack us. If not, we are going to have to launch a conventional siege, but at the gates of the city I hope he decides enough's enough, we will now meet them in battle. It could go in either direction. And he's staying in the city. This is very disappointing. Now the question is, do we benefit from dragging this out as we're getting stronger each turn because of the tiles filling out? Yet at the same time we are bleeding supplies. We have enough and we can just about sustain it, but we are running short and we don't want to spend all of our gold on supplies. Maybe I will give it one more turn and see. I wonder if he can build a camp there actually. No. No potential for camps around here, that's unfortunate. Okay, one more turn and then if he doesn't deploy we'll march on the city. Nope, Cao Pi is staying put. So we are marching on Jiaozhi next turn. Okay, he's just not deploying against us at all. He's going to go for a siege, which is unconventional, but we're now watching the very interesting fish versus city durability slog, where it'd be handy to have had a siege weapon, but you never know when the AI is going to behave like this. Okay, finally, we've got a battle, and okay, this could go against us. Not likely. Sao P in crane formation isn't going to be the biggest threat, and as soon as Sima Yi fires off his tactic against the city, we'll start taking a lot less damage. He's only taking... Sima Yi is only taking 1 damage, that's perfect. Only Sima Shi is really taking damage, and this is a unconventional duel. Sao P versus Sima Shi, and Sao P's probably gonna win. Huh. Okay, let's watch this one. Started off good, Sima Shi. Close, very, very close. You did as well as... We didn't get captured as well as we could expect. You're now taking a huge amount of damage because of the morale loss, but... Sao P is still going... Oh, Sima Yi and Guo Huai is still going strong. Yeah, keep going, keep going. Sima Yi, use your tactic. Would you please, please... No, he's retreated into the city. This is just going to be a case where we manually watch the city melt. Its durability is cut in half and they only have 5,000 troops left. Probably 2 more turns. Man, oh, Sima Yi's now hit the 100 leadership stat. The best general in China, quite possibly according to the omnipotent league tables. No, Sun Jian has us beat. Well, we'll have to change that at some point. We'll come for you, Sun Jian. Sima Yi is still only taking 1 damage a turn. If it wasn't for Sima Shi's mishap with the duel, this would have been a very economical battle. He lost 150 troops, 151 technically. He lost Guo Huai, you lost 700 or 620, you lost 4,000. Still not bad, 6,000 casualties, city captured. Plenty of officers, including a friend of Sima Yi, Sao P. We hopefully make use of him. We got a few of the Sao family officers that can make their own somewhat meaningful army. Sao Shuang's not going to join us, but... And he's a friend of Guo Huai. So, Sao P, Guo Huai, Sao Shi, we might be able to do something with them. I very rarely do this, and I'm just showing this before I go over the officers we've captured, but in a Ling I can sell 26 supplies for 10 gold and subsequently buy 20 supplies for 10 gold. This is the cheapest you will find food. No, well, the most expensive you'll ever find food, but the cheapest you'll ever find gold. So I am going to sell 18,000 of my much needed supplies in order to acquire 7,000 gold. Rarely do I recommend doing this, but in this case I am. Not in the south though, as I really do need those supplies. And in Guiyang, yeah, still a bad translation rate, so I am going to send over 15,000 food, I suppose, and then come a better exchange rate, we'll hopefully use that gold then to buy food and we'll have made a profit. That's the theory. But I am fairly safe in the north now, dare I say it. Oh, a bit short on officers here. No, got just as many as we need. All fucking fully developed, max morale, no need to carry out overkill. I've increased the number of orders I have, thanks to my administration. Everyone's back up at max loyalty as the city I conquered had quite a bit of gold. If I take a look at the officers we've acquired now, First of all, we have Cao Chen. So he forms a sort of army corps with Cao Pi and Cao Shi, and I'm going to give some thought in between videos on how I'll use these guys, as he's also friends with Guo Huai, and two supportive defense generals could be incredible for their backline. So I might make an army out of Guo Huai, Cao Chen, Cao Pi and Cao Shi, but Cao Pi at the same time does support Sima Yi, so it could go in either direction. He has very high leadership, he has defense trait. Overall, he is fantastic. You stick him there. He doesn't have mounting ward unlike Guo Huai, so Guo Huai is slightly better. Well, higher intelligence too. But he is otherwise a very good Wei general, and probably the last great Wei general. There's also this chap you hire. Forest Warlord, has fish, has snake. High leadership with Ram, which is always somewhat helpful. Enlightened, which helps you hire more troops if you point him as an overseer. He has helmsman. He's okay. If I needed, if I lacked for good quality officers, I would probably use him, but I don't, so he's just going to be there. Maybe I'll do some snake formation shenanigans should they be needed with the Forest Warlord trait. We have Cao Shi. He is a quintessential Goose formation officer. Pair him with Cao Pi and Cao Chen. He will do damage, particularly to cities, thanks to his longbow trait. He's just a general good Goose formation officer. He also has the strengthened Goose policy, which I've adopted. A surprisingly competent female warrior officer here. Snake formation, arrow formation, general bandit-ish style of warrior. Won't really have a use for her. And then we've got Cao Pi. So he has a unique tactic which mitigates enemies somewhat. He has sharp tongue. I think that's the trait that reduces increases the potency of provoked, which he also has. Prepare register level 5, which we've adopted, and he has Goose. So you stick him with, well, there we are, Sima Yi, and of course his family members Cao Chen, Cao Shi. He may get some use. I think he will. And if other than that, anyone of any particular relevance? Domestic officers. He won't be joining us. Should have executed him. Chen, I think. He has true government level 5, giving us more orders, so I've appointed him to our administration. Other than that, he's another famous officer, very useful, good at finding items, enlightened too, so a good overseer, very good domestic officer, and he's a candidate for getting up to that 110 political stat breakpoint, which makes it far easier to ask forces to surrender to you, especially with a charismatic leader like Sima Yi. Another famous officer, also with reform expenditures level 4. Potential wife, oh no, she's already married to Cao Pi. And another cultured officer for increasing population. Very minor, but somewhat useful for the cities. So let's have a look what have I got here. Reform expenditures level 3. I could then change that to level 4. I've got a few naval officers now, so I've got train engineers 3, 2 and 2. Doesn't add up to 10, so it doesn't really matter. Prepare register level 5, and because it's our might policy, it only costs 2, so that frees up the reform expenditure level 4. Then we've now got fish at 5, goose at 2, goose at 4. We've not got any other fish yet, so that search continues on. No changes to our domestic setup either, and research terrains 4 just so we can build wire ropes when needed. We could of course at this point switch over to research adherence, and we can even get that upper level if we went that way. So I'll probably do that as well, because we've got all the wire ropes we need, and that will help our catapults keep our... Have I built you yet? I think you've just been injured a bit. Anyway, they'll help our catapults keep our areas safe should Ganning decide he now has enough troops to attack us. But that is where we are now. I am going to leave the episode here. Wu Qi will not be able to stand up against us. He is under a threat by Liu Bei. He'll defend against Liu Bei, I am sure. But once our supplies arrive from Ling Ling, Not really got many other supplies elsewhere, and I don't want to send the supplies out of Wuling, as this city now has a lot of troops in it. But when our supplies arrive from Lingling, we will make a march on Nanhai. What we can do, if we get the engineers back, we can sail along the river, have a snake formation officer like Deng Chong, take the mountain path, and then attack the city with its only one surrounding area, depending on if Liu Bei retains Longchuan. But it's looking positive, as long as Deng Ai doesn't mess up and he dies to Liu Bei. That would be tragic. We're gonna hope that doesn't happen. In fact, I could even, if I have a mountain warlord here, he's our recruiter, I could even do this. Take this in preparation and start building it up, and have him retreat when he arrives. And in that which case we go to our administration, we say, hold on, we're having our snake guys back for free. There we are. Max level snake. This will have him speed through this mountain. And have we got a famous officer here? I've now got many to spare. We will send over one of our unused famous officers. We've got plenty now, I think. There we are. Chen Chen. They'll even send over Chen Chen himself. I'll send him back once I've taken Nanhai, as we will then be able to trade with one of the foreign powers, which will give us a item that increases our politics by 10. Either way, that's a lot of rambling and not a lot of gameplay, so I'll cut the episode here. I'll resume next episode either at a point of action or where our supplies have arrived and we're able to finish off Nanhai with our alliance of Liu Bei in place and hopefully not about to expire. Yeah, plenty of turns remaining. Our southern border will be completely safe and we will be in a position to threaten our biggest rival, Ganning, who we have finally overtaken in troops, unless he unifies with somebody possible. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed this probably shorter than average episode, and I hope to see you in the next one.